Okay, 7 o'clock, we'll call the Barnes County North March 13th school board meeting to order. First, we'll start out with a pledge of allegiance. Oh, yes, we'll start out with that. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have anything to add, Mr. Curry?
Yes, in your consent agenda, under the minutes, it's actually the 2024 minutes, not the 2023 minutes that need approval
Okay.
for that.
Okay, and then I'd like to add one under new business, which is I, administrative contract extension. Put that under new business. So we would need a motion to approve amended agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Okay, is there a second?
Second, Jen.
All in favor of approval of the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then we can move to the consent agenda, which covers the minutes, bills, and financial reports. If there's any questions or comments on any of those.
I have one on food service. You know, we don't have a budget. I know we set our budgets, but are we going to look through the budget of the food service and where we're at to revise that before our annual budgets, or we'll do it all at
I
one
think
time?
if we look at that would be when we set a budget committee meeting, yes. Yep.
I think the chatter has been for a while to do budgets
To
for
look at
all
some-
funds.
All funds, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been talked about, so I think when we schedule the next budget meeting, that will be part of the discussion, yeah. Any other questions or comments?
Does anyone know, is there like replacing equipment or something? It's just, either every month there's like new silverware, just stuff that's getting.
And getting to the bottom of the silverware issue, because Joey had asked me about ordering some more, and our custodians during the elementary, they stand by the garbage cans, and the kids, there's a blue line if you look out there, and they go by 2x2 up to there for that. So I had talked to Jordan and said, have you noticed anything, you know, after the senior high lunch? He goes, I really haven't checked. Well, he showed me a picture today, from today, and on top, there's like 4 pieces of silverware
Okay.
sitting there. So I've got something going out in the announcements tomorrow. We need to have a chat with our older kids about
Sure.
just going in
I was
and
just
dumping
curious,
it.
you know, it's on every one, that's what I was just
Yeah,
wondering, so.
and so I told her to hold off, because part of it, we need to get to the bottom of
It's
what's
been a
going on.
continual thing we gotta get on
Yes.
top of.
Okay.
For that, because I said, can you get to the end of the year? And they said, no, with what we have. And talking to Jordan, he goes, yeah, I mean, I kind of see it, and it looks like, you know, sees the bins or whatever that they're in, and seems to be less and less. And like I said, he just showed me a picture of the top of it, 3 to 4, whatever they were, forks,
Okay.
knives, whatever. So we need to clamp down on whatever's happening, or just look to see what we can do.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments? If not, we need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
When you're ready, roll call.
Tyler,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Eric.
Yes.
Patron form, you had nothing, Mr. Curry?
No,
Okay,
nope.
then we'll roll to you with superintendent report.
You have my report, I guess, the Education Funding Committee watched that, and once again, ending fund balance, and it just goes back and forth. Do we get rid of it? Do we put a bigger, a larger cap on it? Because, I mean, 1 mil in Bismarck is worth $500,000, and 1 mil out here is 33,000, so it's a big difference in what, somebody, when you're working with your budget as well, when you have a 20, 40, $50 million budgets, that's a lot more money to carry over than a $4 million budget for that. So, but they did say, keep the moratorium right now through 27, so at least we have that to go on right now. And hopefully they just get rid of it for that. I didn't, and I put it in there, the vouchers and saving accounts for the private schools. I just kind of breezed over that. I didn't really listen to it right now. And then the replacing storm days with virtual days. Compare last year to this year. 13 days to 0 days for virtual learning. So for that, and everybody, even if they put a cap on it, I don't think anybody's against a cap of, say, 5 days or whatever, but nobody wants to see it just go away in case you get one of those years like we had last year, and what's the best plan, and that comes back to, I think, local decision of local boards to look at plans for that. So it's just still continued conversation, yeah.
Is there any chatter about minimum standards for snow days? Like, are they going to make schools add some robustness to their program?
I think, and it depends upon which legislators are speaking, but they always, certain people always talk local control.
Okay.
We want to leave it local for what you do. That's up to your board to decide those things. So they might put a cap on the number of days, but as far as what the plans look like as of right now, really has not been a discussion.
There was a session at the NDCL admin conference, but Mandan was the one showing the example, and they don't connect with their kids virtually at all. It's all over in LMS. So it sounded like a lot of things were trying to be pushed down on things that wouldn't be relevant to us compared to them.
Okay. Just a
Yeah.
question. Thank you.
And then today we had a Heart of the Valley, which is our ITV consortium network. We disbanded. We haven't used it for, I don't know how many years. We don't even have the equipment. I don't know how many years ago BCN gave their equipment back to Mayville or to the consortium. So we don't even have it anymore. And there's maybe 2 classes outside of Mayville State that were even being offered by other school districts in there. So the only reason most of us have been in it for the last 2-3 years is because they've charged no dues for that. So in June, we have a meeting and we'll look at what our checkbook balance is, and we'll divvy that out amongst the schools that have still been active in the consortium, as far as not necessarily taking classes or offering, but attending meetings and being part of conversations.
So there's no period that it's gonna all disband?
It's all just gonna disband. Yep,
Okay.
yep. So,
Curriculum-wise, we don't fall off on anything then?
no,
Okay.
no, not at all. That's it.
Okay.
Yep.
Any questions for Mr. Curry? If not, JR, secondary and AD.
It did get put in there, right? My report?
Yes.
Did
okay.
Mondays, yeah.
Yeah, okay. The only couple things that I have to add off of that is on March 20th, Mrs. Heinze and the FCCLA students will be going to Wahpeton for Culinary Arts Day. She'll be taking 12 students with her for that. And then on April 17th, Mr. Schaefer and 12 students will be going to a math contest at VCSU.
Mr. Wilson.
Athletic director side, has there been any post girls and boys basketball chatter about Class A versus B versus participation or anything like that? Any meetings held then?
As
Yeah.
far as,
Just postseason, wrapping up the year meetings, has there been, is there any?
in-house. Or,
In-house or at the regional or whatever level?
Oh.
Has there been any discussion about, from the ADs, on how the B versus A, the travel,
Yep.
all that kind of stuff, that was all of our concerns last year when this rolled out. Has there been any chatter?
We have that coming up on April 8th.
Okay,
At our District 1 meeting. I know there has been some discussion, and it went to it's being introduced to the recommendation committee as far as girls wrestling, of trying to go to 2 classes, as far as that goes. That will be their recommendation. When it was going through, I chimed in and said that it's not in our interest of doing that because of how it'll impact us as far as that goes, that we would prefer the 1 class that it stays at, so.
well, we don't have a separate wrestling, we go with Valley City, so it wouldn't
Yeah.
affect
Would
us.
it be counted the same as wrestling right now?
So
Because
if
then
it,
it wouldn't maybe affect us as bad.
well,
or
if
are they
it goes
looking
to
at-
A and B, depending, I know Valley says that they will opt up in Class A for boys wrestling.
Yeah.
If they do the same with girls wrestling, no, but if they chose to try and go Class B, yes, it could.
Right.
And wrestling right now falls under one of those exceptions.
That's what.
For the
that's what I was
numbers,
going to
for
say,
the
exception.
325 numbers, wrestling, softball, cross-country, I believe, are the 3 exceptions, but that is getting thrown around in conversation right now as
That
well.
Might go away. the
Well, it
exception.
might go away, or
Or
me
add.
personally, add baseball,
Add-
golf, and whatever
add something
to
to
that
it.
exception list.
Perfect.
And
Yeah.
that
I think
is
the
where you
big
only
de-
count the whole school.
Correct,
so-
yes.
But the big detractor why I don't think it'll go through is as of right now, they still can't fill fields of dual wrestling for girls on that side. So if you go to 2 classifications, you're really not gonna be able to have any types of duels take place in girls wrestling.
Class B, Class A could.
They even, unless they get a big group, it's still difficult for them.
Even in Val City right now, Class A, there's only 6, Cindy? Yeah.
No, I meant there'd be enough schools at the Class A level that they could do a dual bracket. Class B level for girls, I don't know if they,
Well, even like Val City, Class A, that wouldn't be
Okay.
enough
Okay.
either.
So the
But
dual
the
is
Bismarck,
just
the
one
Bismarck, the
school
Bismarck.
versus another school.
Yeah, I'm
As
completely
far,
aware.
and try and get the 12 weight classes that there are and whatnot to
Yeah.
get them all filled.
it would have to be
It'd
invite-only situations,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be mandatory.
We talked a little bit about doing like interviews with the coaching and stuff in-house. Is that something we're gonna be able to do?
Yeah, I gotta talk with Krista, and I think he's gonna speak
Sure.
tonight on his, as far as that goes.
So there's been no postseason in-house anything yet?
No,
Okay. Any other questions? Thanks, Jared. Mrs. Bussey, elementary principal.
We had our trimester Title I annual review meeting in the elementary, and I put Lisi attachments, and I don't think those were included. Once I got them from Lisa, both ELA and Mass said the same thing, so I wanna clean out our notes from the meeting, and I'll share that next month with you guys. Conference totals were on there, and this was the first year we shifted to 3rd through 6th grade student-led conferences, and we'd like to continue that as we go on, give them some practice and presentation skills. Formal evaluations for the year have been done for all elementary contracted staff, and we're starting paras on the elementary side. Preschool screenings are this Friday. We're screening 20 as of right now, 2 kindergarten aged students and then 18 that are preschool age student, and I've already started turning down kids who would be first time open enrolled here. Reading month is kicked off. If you guys walk the hallway down here, I encourage you, when I asked Mrs. McMillan who was planning reading month, she said, I don't think there was any teacher who was there, so they've all kind of been jumping in and doing it. And then, the tailgating, I visited with Mrs. McMillan, and we would like final numbers for the tailgating celebration by the 22nd. That way we can kind of plan spaces, and I know some have been reaching out to her for different ideas of what to do at their booths or their areas, so
Has there been a pretty good number of people reaching out or not?
I think last time I checked in with her, there's 7,
Today I met with her, she said 11.
11,
Okay.
so.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Any questions? Okay, thank you. Technology, Mrs. Bitts?
Just what was in the update, we're gonna be starting state testing next week. Mrs. Brennan and I went to, training a couple weeks ago, so that'll be in high gear next week. Mrs. Burton and I are gonna take a group of 8th grade girls to the John Deere Introduce a Girl to Engineering Day down in Valley City coming up here in April. Mrs. Broughton received a headset, every counselor in the state received a headset with, access to, be colorful career view, videos that she would like to integrate into her career counseling, so I just got that set up tonight with, almost feeling like I was gonna get sick after doing it and then have Rob look at it, so, that's some new stuff that can be integrated into help with career planning. We did receive a state Homeland Security Program grant from, they had some leftover dollars from 2021. And our wireless system is going to be obsolete in a year. They're ending life for that, so I worked on a grant and we were awarded that grant for $29,912. So we'll be putting in new wireless access points. It has to be, the project has to be completed by July 31st. And then the next meeting, we should have our final new tech plan available for you. We worked on our goal number 2. We're gonna meet and finish up goal number 3, share it with staff, and then bring it to hopefully today the board meeting.
You got the grant, but is that gonna cover, or how much short, or will it cover
That
it?
is gonna cover the project.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so we are,
Kudos.
And it's a good grant, because it's
Yep.
not a matching
Not
grant.
a matching.
Nope, so that's nice.
Okay,
That has to be done July 31st of this year.
yeah,
Mhm.
Is there people that can get it done?
yeah. Yeah. It's actually not too bad. Our access points, we run Meraki right now, so they'll program all that stuff at Marco, and then literally I just go up and replace everything, so it's not bad, it's just getting the equipment ordered and the time for the programming, but it shouldn't be an issue, because what I'm getting is off state contract, so I don't have to go out and get bids, got the state contract price, and we can move fairly quick on it.
okay, thanks. Any other questions? Okay. Ward committee reports. Personnel is probably the only one that's met, or is some others?
Nope, just personnel.
Okay,
Was on there, and I guess Personnel Committee, you're gonna see pretty much later in the agenda what we talked about, so I don't know if there's really anything, Lee, Cindy, that you wanna go over from that meeting?
No, not really. I mean, it was kind of explained in the handout, unless someone has specific questions, but.
we'll probably hit it down here.
We'll hit it in business, in A
Yep,
and what's the other one, A and F,
yep, okay.
yep.
Okay, we'll catch them in the agenda, okay? So unfinished, we have the school calendar, and somebody from their association wanna talk about that, or?
Well, no, I
Or
just,
you just have that listed?
I mean, BCNEA and administration, survey was sent to teachers, we just, Mrs. Bussey sent it out, just start date, end date, and coming back from Christmas on the 2nd or the 6th. Seem to be the two areas, major areas, and I misspoke, it wasn't 75+%, it was for the one starting August 21st was 73.7%. Teachers wanted August 1st, and 78.9 wanted an extended Christmas. So once that was done, Mr. Wilson, Mrs. Bussey and I sat down and looked at the calendar and figured, okay, now we have to, because of initially looking at coming back the 3rd, now we have to add 2 more days to our schedule. So the 3 of us picked the 2 days that we are going to add to our schedule. Biggest question out there right now is graduation date.
So my question is, does the graduation date have to be set tonight?
No, it does
The rest of
not.
the calendar looks good to me, it's just, yeah, that graduation might need some thinking on.
And the date on there is just, it's a starting point. I
Right,
mean, we
because
just
it can
left
be,
for what
it
it
doesn't
is.
have to be a Sunday or a Saturday.
Does not have to be a Sunday, does not have to be a Saturday, can be any day. And even the question, can it be before school's out? Yes, because by that time, all of those seniors will have met the hours put forth by DPI and the requirements put forth by the BCN school board for graduation.
Okay.
For
So
that.
there is a potential that their sheets could be in there for,
Yeah, they've met the requirements at
Okay.
that point, yes.
because that's the only thing we briefly mentioned
Right.
last week, is
Yes.
it would be empty or if it would have to be completed, so.
For that, so I mean, yep.
And does Val City have a date set yet on theirs or not?
I don't know if theirs is fine, we talked about, I can know, we set the vocational one.
Okay,
Are you looking for next year as far as what theirs is?
Yes,
Yes.
next year.
I can tell
They
you,
probably meet in the morning.
okay,
They haven't draft yet that I know of.
okay.
like, I can't read that.
That's Oaks.
Gosh,
though.
I know, but what does that one say? So Oaks is
Oaks
graduating
Is
on,
graduating May 18th.
which is a Friday, I
No.
believe.
No,
Isn't
it's
it?
Sunday.
It's the
Is
one
it
we have
Sunday?
set right now.
Valley City graduating, read that, let's see. I can't see
May
that.
25th.
May 25th,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, there you go.
which is a Sunday, so, and I believe Valley Cities is approved,
Lindsay
Is it,
gets
yeah,
one.
'cause when we
I
met here, it
thought
was
so.
just a draft.
yeah,
But it,
for that, but,
the vocational went to the starting the 21st,
yeah.
Okay.
and their end date's the 20, where we at here,
1st, I think, as well.
I believe so, yeah. And they were coming back on the 2nd. The other thing was the Christmas break, we're coming back on the 2nd. So it's a lot, no, at vocational.
Oh, we,
Yes.
you said we, so I didn't.
We had the vocational, I'll just say, 'cause that was some of the questions last time where it was at, and we did finalize ours last week, so.
So you had-
Traditionally, it's always been Sunday, right? I mean,
Lately,
we haven't had many, if any Saturday.
It's been Sunday since I've been here.
Yeah, and I think like when we graduated, it was always Sundays too, but I mean, I would definitely be open to Saturdays. I
I'm
don't
just,
know, I
you
don't
know-
know how parents of the
Yeah.
graduates would feel,
We were
you know,
Friday
because
night.
it gives
I'm
them
old
a
enough, we were at night.
little more
Yeah,
time. to relax.
1984, it was
Once the
Thursday
last
night.
day, we graduated that night.
After school.
So, last year when we
That
did
was
the
just for
calendar
you, Rob.
thing, you matched up what days we were off from the CTC to see how many days our students were missing opportunity. So this would be only 2
This is very,
Christmas
a
break,
lot closer,
right.
than yeah.
And then we obviously have 2 somewhere else,
Oh,
because
yeah,
if they're doing
there's
175.
a few in there, but last year we had a
Yeah.
bunch of starting and the end,
Okay,
so that was, we were off a lot of days last year.
There's roughly 4.
Yeah.
okay,
I was-
okay, that's
there,
what I
yes.
just wanted,
Yeah, we were a lot tighter
So we're
with this,
closer.
it's a lot.
to
tighter.
that wish list we were hoping for. Okay. Has this gone through teachers' hands and other staff's hands,
Yes.
or just the survey?
No, it's been, they had a BCNEA meeting to discuss the calendar
Okay,
with that, so it's went through their hands and administrative hands and,
okay.
yes.
The only problem, I shouldn't say problem, when we did try to get the semester to end at Christmas time, that's why we started earlier, because then your days are
Days.
closer.
And,
So as long as the teachers are fine with it,
and I'll give you my spiel on that, Lee, is it doesn't, whether it's a semester, whether it's a quarter, our teachers are teaching certain standards. They have the whole year to get through
okay.
X standards, and of course that varies per year depending upon the kids in the class and everything else. So, for that, and I know that looks like a pretty good discrepancy, but once again, okay, take out the last 4 days of school. Let's be honest, not a lot happens the last 4 days of school, for whatever, or the last week of school. They might do final tests, but there's no per se, a lot of education happening for that. So yes, it looks like
Academic education. There's
academic education.
Academic.
Lots of social
Yes,
education
there's a
happening.
lot of
So
social.
it looks like a big gap, but it's still, it comes down to what the standards are and what the expectations are for the teachers that they want to, their power standards, get throughout the year. Yep.
I did notice this year, it seems to be, this preliminary calendar seems to be a lot more 5-day weeks, where it always
is
seemed
what
like
they
every
voted
3 or
for.
4 weeks it was a day off or whatever, which as a parent, it's nicer this way in my opinion, but, if that's what they voted towards, I'm agreed with Cody.
Should I put graduation as TBD?
Well,
Well,
I don't
that's
know
what
if
the
you
motion's
want,
gonna be,
yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if you want any board discussion on it tonight, or
When
Mike,
do
I
we
mean,
have to have it
that's,
finalized by?
you can finalize the calendar right now.
Right,
All,
but do we, like, is there an end date final?
no,
No,
there's not
okay.
an end date, it's just nice to get it out there so
Right.
people
Got it.
know.
Would it be possible to approve the calendar tonight and then decide on a graduation
Yes.
date at later?
That, asking your question, that could be done, yeah.
That's my opinion, I guess.
I mean, then you could involve some others with graduation, parents, students. or
Well, yeah, and
whatever it
is
is.
that, and that's the next point, is it out of line to send a couple different 8 options to
Survey.
survey I mean, since we're looking at
Right.
that timeframe,
Yeah,
Memorial
but-
Weekend.
And I'll just, no, it's not, but who are you going to, I guess my question is, who are you gonna survey? Are you gonna go 10 years down the road when
Well, no.
X,
right,
I mean,
right.
or the next year's graduates decide
Right.
for
And
the
we don't have
next,
to
or are you
survey,
gonna do
maybe
it every
just
year?
reach out
Yeah,
and-
Yeah.
I just question what we're doing with
Right.
precedents a little bit on
Yeah.
that, Cody.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not against it, I'm just throwing
Personally,
that
I
out
think
there.
the calendar is good, just
Yeah.
decide later on the graduation date, that's my opinion, but
Anybody have a motion one way or the other?
I'll make a motion to approve the calendar and decide on the
Graduation
graduation
to be
date.
determined, graduation date to be determined.
Yeah,
I know that's what
I'll
Valley
second
did a
that.
couple of years back, that they didn't actually set it right away.
okay.
Eric, you had a second?
Yep.
Okay. Motion is to approve the calendar with graduation date to be determined. Lindsay?
Lee,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Jennifer.
Yes.
Okay. Next, we got new business contract for teacher position.
So this goes to the personnel committee, end our meeting, and in between, of course, our last board meeting, and that date, there's always re-looking at and more conversations held in there, and a lot of it was around, I mean, not a lot of it, I mean, part of it was art, and continuing to be able to offer that in our elementary and possibly our junior high, but also, I mean, what's best for our 5th graders, what, as far as support and for that class next year. So, basically, in our committee, we looked at a combination art slash, I'll call it a elementary relief teacher, that whether it's, might not be the person we hire, but that person would then fill in for somebody else to go in and help that 5th grade classroom throughout the day, to split those kids up, that group of 26. You know, it's a matter of looking at and putting people in areas that fit them the best. And Mrs. Bussey, if it's decided, you know, knows her staff and knows these people, and will do that. So we met with Bridget Helmick. She is currently a special ed teacher in Jamestown, has applied for a lot of our, not a lot, a few of our elementary positions, and always been a good candidate. But just seems like there's always just been, you know, somebody that is probably more credentialed or endorsed in that area. for that, but she's got a graphic design, she's got an art background, with that. So I guess, and Lee and Cindy, I guess what we're looking at is recommending her for this combination teacher of art / elementary relief. And that would then take the place of an aide or para for that classroom.
Questions anybody has?
This is considered to be a long-term continuing situation with the relief / art, whether there's a large class or not, correct?
Well, it would continue to follow that group, through sixth grade
And then there's
and,
another one, yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So elementary relief, elementary art, and junior high
And
art.
possibly some junior high art, yes.
You guys wanna add anything? You guys are rec, Stacy?
I spaced out a little bit. You stated that this was somewhat of a sustained position.
Yes,
Okay.
So it would go past when this group goes in up to.
sixth grade, then it would still be that relief
But me past
position,
that.
part of it. And seventh grade,
Potential.
schedule-wise, looking at it, relief position, yes.
Potentially with
Junior
continuing.
high.
Could potentially to continue through eighth grade, or really until these kids start taking electives, and that's really when classes and kids divide a little bit.
Basically
It
following
doesn't-
that class.
Yes. yes.
So once that class, I think that's what stays, so that class moves through, then we relook at it?
We're looking at upcoming retirements and numbers in elementary in general. I mean, we had a lot of conversation about that, so
Yeah,
we feel confident that that will be sustained at this point.
She, like you said, she could
But
also
that
add
no,
junior high
person may
It would,
art as
that
well.
person, but that position, that's where we're asking position.
Well, elementary art, yeah, that's why I didn't
But
want him to
the other part of it,
define.
that-
Yeah, like I asked him not to define that it be a fifth grade teacher,
Right.
because with her background in interventions and things like that, I can shift depending on numbers and then do a true classroom reduction for our title program. So, yes, I feel like that is
yes,
accurate.
Okay, just so we're all clear.
yeah.
Yeah.
So by shifting, you mean like possibly somebody else filling in, or what?
There's a lot of gray areas with numbers right now, with recommended 2 years, with incoming preschool screenings, with people that may be moving out of district, and then upcoming retirements and or changes, and so there's a lot of really unknowns right now, and it's driving everybody nuts,
It's-
but.
I think that's the concern, that
Yeah.
when you say it's sustained, it's hard to really say sustained.
Well,
I have a
think,
little trouble with sustained also.
I
The
think,
flex
You know,
position is what I was saying.
the flex
Not
position.
the fifth grade.
Right.
The-
Right.
The
Or the art
position,
thing, the position, yes.
keeping the population of educators consistent, basically, is what, I mean, we're not
I do.
offering this as a one-time year
No.
thing.
No.
This is a sustained
No.
situation.
for her
To
to
flex
be
through.
here,
Yes.
yes.
I've got a
Does
question.
Does that help?
Yeah, like you said
For
too,
me.
like she could add junior high art to her
Right.
portfolio, like if she's not needed to help with, or somebody's not needed. to
Yeah,
help with
but I
class,
mean,
right?
somebody with that group of 26, I
Yeah.
mean, for X number of years, 2,
Yeah.
3, whatever years, somebody is going to need to help with that group as they move forward, like I said, into the high school area.
I got a question for
Yeah.
you. So, you've got a person that wants to be in the school, it sounds like it'd be a good fit. If you got, say, 5 years for them to kind of shadow this class or whatever, and then that lines up with the retirement, getting this person in the school seems like a great idea right now, I mean, but if that person takes the place of someone retiring and now you're losing a position.
That's, yes.
Yeah.
How do you,
how is that handled through the school? 'Cause I don't know if I've been part of like a reduction in staff.
That's what I say, at some point, there could be a reduction.
There could be a reduction,
And is that,
or
is that a hard
ideally.
thing to do, or I mean, what's the process?
Nobody
of
wants
that?
to do it.
Nobody wants to do it. Ideally, it would be just filling a position through attrition.
Yep.
Is what ideally we would want to do with that. If all of a sudden, like you said, there was no need for a relief person with that bigger class now, as they got older, then it would be, okay, do we have another shift, and through attrition, is there someplace else we can fill this in? Or it comes to riffing, yes, if there's no need. And no, nobody wants to do it for that, and I think looking at staffing and possible changes coming up in the future, I'm hoping that would never be an issue
Could you describe the difference between the two?
between,
Filling through attrition or reduction in staff or?
well, I mean, attrition is somebody retires, somebody leaves, you just slide that person from this role into that role after 2 years or whatever else. Saying, this is where we need, there is no need here anymore, so we're gonna take them from this job to this job now.
Isn't that the ideal situation to be in?
Obvious, yes, oh,
So, I
yes.
mean,
Reduction in force is because you,
Say you filled
Is
that
budget-
position, and now do you need that extra
Well,
half
even
time?
worse, you have somebody potentially in the district that lives here that
Right.
took a job somewhere else, and now you can't fill the position
Right.
at all.
right, yes.
And it seems like a great way of doing it.
Yeah, it is, yes. Much better than ever having to get to riffing somebody.
I don't know if it's correct to ask, but did the agriculture position fill?
She signed her agreement,
Okay,
yes.
just checking in.
There's,
Thank you.
So I think what we're looking is a motion to do
Extend.
this, I don't know if I'd wanna tie on, cause there could be a possible riff, I don't think we wanna tie that it's gonna go forever, this.
A contracted
If they
position
don't
does.
get
a
it.
You got it.
contracted
I
is,
mean,
yeah.
a contract is forever.
Because I don't think we need that in the motion, because it's a-
Right.
No,
No.
it's just a question.
It's just hiring her, once she's contracted,
Yep.
after the first
Continuing
couple
con-
years, I mean.
First couple years, you
you
go through
basically-
evaluations, you go through the
Yeah.
process.
I mean, you have continuing contract rights every year, but first couple years, it's easier to get rid of somebody. You never want to do that, but you can.
Yeah.
For that, but no, with anything, with any position, instead of riffing somebody, you're always gonna look is through attrition, retirement, resignation, whatever. Can we fill them in someplace else?
Well, just as a vote of confidence, Ms. Helmick, art-wise, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. This is not just plug somebody from the district into a
Yeah.
position and make something
No.
for her. She is more than qualified, so.
I'll make a motion to accept this
I
position.
love putting these together for you. I make a motion to extend the contract for the part-time art,
For the
Yep.
combination.
combination art and elementary
Are we
relief
being that
position.
specific?
Okay, is there a second to that?
I'll
Combination.
second.
Tyler.
No, I incorrectly, I meant combination.
So you want the motion to read,
Yeah,
motion to
combination.
extend contract for the combo elementary relief position.
And art,
Art and
yeah, sorry,
elementary relief
Yep.
position.
yes.
We
This
have a
is why I
motion.
don't like
Either
making
way, our
motions.
contract or a teacher, right?
Right.
That's what I'm trying to determine.
You got the motion and Tyler second,
Okay,
so roll call when you're ready.
Eric,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes,
Lee,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Okay, next we have superintendent evaluation. Thank you for getting them all back. I have all 9 I've got back. And we, both, Mr. Curry and I appreciate the comments, because that's what the goal was to get comments. And I think I appreciate it.
Yep.
As we talked, I think you appreciate that too.
Yes.
All the scoring came back, very satisfactory, every area that questions we had. I think it was very beneficial to have what's doing good, what we would like to see improvement in. I think that's a good ad we have. Like I say, this is one brought up, or I wanted to put in, and you guys can fine tune it or whatever. But first, what do you guys think of this type of one compared to what we've had? Because that'll help as we move ahead into next year. Any comments?
I personally like this format and how we did it versus in the past. It's just easier, just all around, it just made it simple. I mean, every year when it comes time for these, it's just like, oh, time to do, because it's just like so many questions and numbers, and yeah, I did it and I was like, holy, that was actually not painful.
Wasn't painful, Mr.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know how to take that.
Not painful for you, but just the process of doing it, because it's like everything needs a number, and then, yeah. And there's just kind of like the business manager, there's so many different ones, and it's like, well, is this truly his job, or is it maybe somebody else's job? So trying to figure out if it's being done and if it's truly his job or administration, or, so I just felt this was simpler, but it did the same thing.
The only thing is there a way that you could at least add a resource to that would be like a job description resource handbook type thing?
Could be, we could turn out a job description. with it.
Something
Yeah.
like that, so that we
Yeah.
could say yay or nay to what is in here, we feel strongly,
Yeah.
yes or no. Just
Yeah.
because the questions and the format, I agree, absolutely easier, you could do what you needed to, it wasn't overwhelming, like 0 to 10 or whatever. But like, just so we can kind of like mind jog on what areas should be evaluated a little bit,
Yeah.
would be the only thing. But
Yeah.
I think that's for any position though.
Yeah.
Job description is,
Yeah.
you did well or you didn't do
Yeah.
to what you were supposed to do.
Yeah,
Any
and,
comment you have?
yeah, I mean, I appreciate the comments, but I like, like the opportunity for improvement. I mean, I like that, I like the comments. I really like it if there's multiple comments on the same topic, then it really hits home a little bit more. Not saying that the other ones don't as well, but when 2 or 3 people state kind of the same thing, then I know that's a priority, at least for me, moving forward. So I do appreciate that.
So, we do need to make a official motion of a satisfactory or unsatisfactory evaluation, so we do need to do that. Like say, all the scores come back, all questions were in the satisfactory range, so. what we
Make a
do-
motion to have a satisfactory rating for this
Okay,
evaluation.
by Lee, is there a 2nd?
I'll second.
Cindy? When you're ready, Lindsay, roll call.
Tyler,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes. And yes, I do appreciate what you're doing, Mr. Curry, and appreciate all you guys getting that stuff back. It seemed to work pretty effortless this time around, so, thanks. Dance, we tabled from last meeting to bring back.
So, and I'll speak extracurricular, people, I mean, feel free to speak, because this kind of came through your committee, but basically, correct me if I'm wrong, we're looking at putting the financials of dance under the umbrella of the school district, and changing the name to BCN Dance Team, and that came from Mrs. Broughton, the dance advisor. I didn't come up with that one, she came up with it. Just to change it up so we don't get any conflict with the old name into a new name.
So what would we have to, I know we did trap, I'm just going back to trap.
So TRAP, and I.
Because I
found
did
it-
talk to Al, and he said, all we did at trap was we made a motion from the board that they could use the school name for competition.
And 100% of trap shooting teams in North Dakota use their school name.
They have to use the
Yes,
school name to do
they
it.
do.
That's a
For that.
requirement, and that's what we did for TRAP, is all we had to do is make a motion that the school, the TRAP club can use the name of the school for competitions.
For that. And archery, I looked online, I did some research, and I didn't see anything. They do use it, but it's not mandatory that they would. But the thing with archery is it's a program in your school, in your building, it's like a curriculum.
Yep.
In your building, where the FIAD kids do it in grades 4 through 9, or anybody that has FIAD, so.
And I think was coming back when I think, I'm the only one left here that was in that conversation. The issue back with TRAP is they didn't want to show affiliation because of the gun thing. So it was, and they said it was just that you could use, that's why the motion was only made that way.
Yeah.
Totally. Question I have that runs into financials, okay? What if there's purchases need to be made and there's not enough funds in the account?
Don't purchase.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm just.
yeah, no, and that's just it, and Lindsay and I have talked about this a little bit, and, I mean, it's not really, I mean, it's not for us to say, no, you can't buy this, but it is us to say, you don't have the money to afford this, for that. That would be about the only,
Which is the same thing as senior prom or anything like that, right?
pretty
now,
much,
correct?
yeah, because they
Okay.
fundraise all that money, I guess they can do whatever they want with it, as long as they stay above 0.
Okay.
Yep.
Is archery and like trap, are they tied to like academics? Like, I've heard that somebody said like if they're not passing a grade or something, they can still participate in these extracurricular activities, is that?
They could, as could like dams. They could do the same thing. They do not fall under our guidelines or High School Activity Association guidelines, but, and I'm not to speak, they do follow a lot of our guidelines, Tyler. And what they do as far as
I think
probably
a lot-
academically
A lot of those
or,
clubs, I think, they have their own, right, yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Some of them do follow that and
Which
some
could accept
don't.
this or not, or yes.
Right. I feel like that should be something that we have to enforce though. Like, I mean, if you're not doing well in our classes, like we shouldn't be doing, or have the option to do extracurriculars.
The
I
tricky
mean,
part
it's-
is the people who run them don't have access to the grades, so who's responsible for reporting that and,
And then if it's not a school.
well.
If- Right,
funded
and if it's
sport,
not a
it's
school
hard to
funded,
enforce
that's
it,
that
too.
divide
Another-
between the two.
Another thing that comes into play is archery has an academic archer and so when we shifted to true priority standards or priority based grading, like I threw out some ideas of how to get our students to be recognized for the academic archer, and it was just way over their heads, so they just said, if you look, none of our elementary students are recognized for that. So, I mean, we talked about it a little bit, and I don't even know if they asked if we could legally say where they stand,
Yeah.
so.
So what they're really asking for is just for us to do the financials.
Correct. Yep.
So are we gonna still give this $1,000 to everyone, or because we do a little work, is that gonna get prorated or not?
That's
We're
up
not
to
doing
you
any-
guys.
Well, it's just something I'm throwing
Yeah.
out for discussion.
Right, I mean, that would be up to the board, but
And then how do we had a little issue before about recognition nights. Are we gonna have recognition nights for all clubs, or is it just school-sponsored things?
Archery has their own recognition night. They don't participate in any of the school recognition stuff.
Right.
And TRAP kind of does the same. It's like that first week in June. We'll have like a fun trap shooting day for families and picnic, and then that's kind of when all the awards are handed
I
out.
know in the past, the dance was the same thing, they did it on their own too, so,
But this year they did it as a
It's senior
team.
night.
it's senior night.
That's the question that's been brought to me, is are we gonna allow all clubs, or how do we handle that? I don't know if you guys talked about that at all in your committee meetings or not.
That might be something for
Mhm.
policy situation instead of this topic. Good question.
Yep.
Not that I feel we've had a problem with
No,
anything.
no, it's just what's
yep,
been brought up, and
Yep,
are
you're
we
right.
doing one, or are we doing all, or what are
Yep.
we doing
Yep.
here? Yeah.
I motion to approve the BCN dance team and to have fiscal responsibility run through the school.
Okay,
I'll second that.
second to that. Any other questions or discussion?
Yes, I
Okay.
would probably have to disclose a conflict of interest on that with my wife being a potential dance advisor.
Okay, so we would have to vote, all in favor of Eric not voting on this? Oh, roll call probably, Lindsay, now we gotta do that, right?
First, I need to know who
Yeah.
made the motion. It was Jen
Jennifer
and
Cody.
Cody.
Seconded.
Okay,
Get
then
your minutes right, whatever.
Eric
Declared a
is
conflict.
conflict. And then there has to be a motion if someone wants him to
To vote-
abstain or
To vote or
vote.
not vote, yes.
No motion means he's fine.
There has to be a
There
motion.
has to be
Either way.
one-
Either way.
Once
Either
he
way.
declared, you gotta make a motion, one way or the other,
Okay.
to vote or not to vote.
I'll make a motion that Eric can abstain from
Okay.
voting.
Second by Jen.
Second by Jen. So first, we're doing that part there, when you're ready, Lindsay. For Eric to abstain.
Cindy,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Okay, so now the motion is to financial, run it through the
Motion
activity
to
account.
approve BCN dance team and fiscal responsibility to the school.
Yep.
Mike,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Cody.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Next is to approve hiring of a board member, which we thank you for taking it on. As our
Yep.
policy reads, we have to run through this
Yes,
procedure.
we do. Board members can be hired for classified positions, not certified
Yes.
positions, and this is a classified
Classified
position.
position, and our policy says that he said brought to the board. so.
Yep.
I make a motion that we hire Tyler for the coaching position.
I second that.
I have a
Stacy.
conflict of interest here too.
So
Stacy,
who was
What
the
does,
first?
what does
Eric.
what does policy read?
Eric,
It's a little long.
I can highlight the
I
part.
just need that.
Lindsay, Eric had the motion.
Yep,
You
okay,
guys
the
read-
second.
Cody.
Can do it, but it's gotta come before us.
Gotta say your name.
Within
No,
the
I heard
classified-
two people, so I
Yes,
wasn't sure
This-
about it.
This is something
Not a
I
certified
think,
or contracted.
it would have been awesome to do a couple months ago. I'm sure nobody, I mean, it's not, I mean, what if,
Next.
what if it didn't go well? You
Right.
know, and I already have been here.
Next question, Mike, would
Yeah.
be, is that a, I didn't look at any parentheses or anything, is that a recommended policy from the board?
This one is a,
I think I mentioned that.
it recommended,
Yep.
recommended policy.
Okay, and then my last one is, would it be in the best interest for the school board to have discussion, or whatever you guys wanna do to get rid of that policy?
We can bring it up to them. If, for just coaching or for completely, because this other says we can't,
Any type of classified position here at the school.
for classified positions, okay.
We are a small school district, and I'll be getting into it just a little bit
Okay.
here. And it can be tough.
Okay.
And if we have qualified people who are on the board, there's no compensation anymore for these board members. I think that might be, and this is just my opinion, in the best interest of the school board to get rid of that policy, because we do have some individuals on the board who could possibly help out with extracurriculars here at the school.
Definitely something we can bring up and take a look at.
Okay, thank you.
So you declared the conflict?
Yep.
Okay, so first we have to make a motion for Tyler to vote.
I motion to approve Tyler to abstain from voting on the motion on the floor.
Is there a second?
Second.
Lee. I'll be your eyes.
Roll call when ready.
All right, it's Cody,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Eric.
Yes.
Okay, so now we have the motion to accept Tyler as the elementary girls basketball.
Ready?
Yep, ready.
Cindy,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Now you're stuck. Now you're in. Return to higher learning plans, that's just something that's just gotta get another approval? No changes, just.
No changes last time because ESSER funds are going away and it follows ESSER funds, so should be last go around.
We still need a motion to,
Motion
Yes.
to approve the return to learning plan.
there a second.
I'll second.
By Rob,
Tyler,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Mike,
yes.
Eric.
Yes.
Resignation letter, you got that, Mr. Curry, you can read? I don't
Uh,
have one.
Boy,
I didn't print one off.
I have it in here, I just gotta find it, cause I did not pull it out.
One you can just read her off that you would like. Thank you.
I got it if you want it.
Maybe I have,
What's
maybe
the
I
last
don't even
page?
have, I don't even, there you go.
Jen, you wanna read it?
Wanna hand that to Mike?
No, there you go.
Here, okay.
Otherwise, we can read
Thank
it off
you,
the tiny.
sorry.
Oh, I'll make it a little bigger. Dear Mr. Curry and Barnes County North School Board, I'm writing this letter to formally resign from my position as the junior high English and science teacher. This decision was not made lightly, and it comes after much consideration and reflection on my part. Working at Barnes County North has been an incredibly rewarding experience for me. Over the past 6 years, I've had the privilege of working with dedicated colleagues, passionate students, and supportive parents. Together, we have created an environment where learning flourishes, and I am immensely proud of the progress we have made as a team. However, after careful consideration of my personal and professional goals, I have come to the conclusion that it is time for me to pursue new opportunities and challenges. While I will miss the wonderful community at Barnes County North, I am excited about the prospects that lie ahead. I want to express my deepest gratitude to everyone at Barnes County North for their unwavering support and encouragement throughout my time here. Truly grateful for the friendships I have formed and the memories I will cherish. Please accept my sincerest thanks for the opportunity to be part of the BCN family. I will always look back fondly on my time here and carry with me the valuable lessons I have learned. Wishing you all continued success and fulfillment in the future. Warmest regards, Mackenzie Schweitzer. So we would need a motion to accept that and thank her for her time, or whoever would like to make that motion.
Motion to accept the resignation of Mackenzie Schweitzer.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Tyler. When you got her, Lindsay, roll call.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Open enrollment is.
And just going back to that, and with that, the personnel committee recommends to fill, so
Fill,
that
open
position
that.
is posted right now.
Yep. Okay,
Have you had any
Nope,
interest yet?
not for that one, no.
okay, roll to open enrollment.
I have an open enrollment for a child that is currently 2 states away. So not even in the area. The parent, I believe, lives in Valley City for that, but we don't have enough information, even on this form or about this child, so as of right now, I would recommend to the board that we deny this open enrollment for this child till we get more information.
Did you say it was elementary?
Yeah, kindergarten right now, this will be 1st grade next year.
So we're gonna deny or table, or you want?
I want
your
deny.
recommendation Deny,
I
okay. That's your
recommend we deny
recommendation.
it
Okay,
right now, yeah.
recommendation is deny the open enrollment.
And they can reapply, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's just one other.
Right, motion to deny it.
I'll second.
Second by Rob. Roll call when you're ready, Lindsay.
Mike,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer, you're next on the agenda.
Can I have
Oh,
ask one question
yeah.
though? Does open enrollment show any intent to actually, or any intent to attend this school?
Can they open enroll to a bunch of different places?
They could open enroll to as many districts as they so choose. I think most of them decide on a district before they do it, but you could open enroll to multiple districts. I mean, you could come here and in a month decide you don't like it, and then tuition waiver or to a different district if it was approved. So you could do that, yep.
Mr. Schaefer, you're up. Next on the agenda.
So,
Okay,
so
I'm
75 days.
speaking on behalf of Coach Casey Roldson for an official statement. Coach Roldson will not be coaching basketball next year for the boys basketball team, so he will be resigning his position. He wanted to thank the school board for giving him that opportunity for the past 7 years here. He has felt great support from you guys. He has also felt great support from the school district and also the community members. On a personal note, Coach Roldson has been my friend for a long time. And I was very fortunate when I took back the coaching position that he was willing to step in and do that assistant job along with me. And with that, I am very grateful for that time that we have spent. And it doesn't go unnoticed on the time and the effort that he has put into this basketball program. We came in together at that particular time, and we wanted to, that the culture was good with the basketball team. We wanted to improve it. And I thought over the last 7 years here, we did a pretty good job. And I could see that within the stands, I could see that within the school, and I could see that within the community. So that's my personal note with that one. And then it was a little tougher with the kids this time. I'm going to make an official statement as well. I'm resigning my position as the boys basketball coach, effective immediately. This comes with extremely heavy heart, but it comes with a clear and sound mind. My years here at BCN have been good years coaching. I don't regret any part of it, and I had a lot of fun coaching these kids throughout the years. There's been some great groups of kids that have come through, a lot of hard workers, very passionate kids that wanted to play the game. And I am very grateful for that. My decision is not based off of that I'm just done with basketball. My decision comes for me personally and for my family is the main reason why I'm doing this. Personally, I want to thank you guys for the opportunity over the years for allowing me to coach here. I also want to thank the school district, and I also want to thank the community members as well. These last, 6, 7 years, like I said, there's been great support for this basketball team, and I'm truly grateful for that. I just have one request before I give you my official statement, which you guys don't have to do any acting on. I just have one request. As I talked to JR a little bit about the process now that you guys are gonna have to go through. And I wanted to do this as early as possible so that you guys can start this process as soon as possible. But my request is that you guys are proactive with this and not reactive, just waiting for people to apply for it. I know how it goes with hiring coaches here. It's tough. We don't get a lot of applications, and it seems like we hire weeks or maybe a month prior to the basketball season starting, or whatever season it is starting. So my request is that you guys be proactive, just don't put it out there and wait for people to apply. My request is that you guys go out there and you look for somebody.
Pursue,
And
you
you're
want
gonna
us to
have
pursue,
to actually find 2 people.
you want us to actively pursue something.
That would be my request.
Right,
You
yeah.
guys don't have to do
Yeah.
anything about it,
Yeah.
but these kids that are coming up, you know, like I said, Coach Rolson and I, we've been working really hard with these guys, to get them where they're at. And I don't want these guys to have a lull period of having no leadership. I told them today after school that, if things come into me, I would post it, help them very limitedly, because my role right now is gonna be done. But I don't want those kids to have a lull period. They don't deserve that. This is gonna be a good group of kids, they're gonna be competitive, and I just don't wanna see them falter.
Okay.
And it should be that way for a few years yet. So, that's just my final request.
Well, I want to personally thank you. I think this whole board thanks what you've done, Stacy, and relay that to Casey too. I really want you to do that.
Thank you very much. Yes, just thankful we did it this year and not a couple of years ago.
And that's the official statement. Thank you.
And I just want to add, you know, a thank you to Coach Schaefer and Coach Rolson. 7 years ago when I came in, I was going to, but I was asked to step aside, and I had a conversation with Coach Schaefer after everything that had happened, and he decided to come back, and he's been nothing but holding high standards to the players, not just athletically, but academically and behaviorally throughout the season, off season. Very well respected by the players and staff members alike, and they have made great strides, and I just want to thank you for taking over when you did. And I respect and I understand why you're stepping aside, and I can't blame you for doing that.
Okay, thanks.
I would thank you, number one, for you, Mr. Schaefer and Mr. Olson, for all your time. And I agree with you, being proactive. Can we request an extracurricular meeting, Mr. Wilson, as soon as possible? Thank you again.
Yep. 2, Barnes County North School District from Stacy Schaefer. I will confirm my resignation as the boys' head basketball coach at BCN. I'm writing this letter with heavy heart, but with a clear mind. At this time, this is the best interest for myself and my family. I would want to thank you for the opportunity that you have given me to coach at BCN. I'm grateful for the support I have received over the years from the administration, school board, and community. I've also been blessed with working with great students and athletes. I hope the best for the program in the upcoming years. Sincerely, Stacy Schaefer. So, we appreciate what you've all done, Stacy.
Thank you.
Truly do. Okay. We don't have to officially make a motion or not on this, we haven't.
It's a classified position,
Right,
so
no,
technically
I'm just
you
saying,
do
just
not.
so it look like we're not,
Yeah.
deciding, we're thanking, we really appreciate what you've done, Stacy.
You don't have to act.
Huh?
You don't have to act on that.
I already told him we're gonna get Mr. Undum out of retirement, and him and I and Dale are gonna go on the repping circuit, so.
Okay. All right, we'll move next one, the administrative contract extension. We turned out contracts, Mr. Wilson's early, and we kind of waited with the other ones as we talked about, like Melissa was on vacation and that, so they didn't go out at the same time. That was the rationale for that, what we talked about. But Mr. Wilson has requested an extension, so I'm my personal thought is I'd like to maybe see that happen, and we could extend it maybe to the 27th or the 29th. Right now, Melissa's and Mrs. Bussey's would be, their due date would be the 27th. So, but you guys can have any discussion on that, or I would like to have an end date to it. I mean, I don't want to just approve an extension, I guess. I think we would need to have an end date to that. The request is to give a deadline extension for Mr. Wilson's contract to be returned. That's the request.
So the 27th would be 2 weeks? Today's 13th?
Yes, that would be 2 weeks. What's that?
It's Friday.
His deadline would have been Friday, 15th. Because his went out on the 1st, yes. So that is, we would.
Can I ask a question? Do I
Yes.
have to amend the contract if an extension is approved? 'Cause I don't know.
I don't, the contract would not change, no, so I
But
don't,
the date is in the contract,
Correct.
the date to,
that it
Okay.
needs to be returned time.
technically, yes, then if it's in there yet,
Because it currently says 3 PM on March 15th.
then we would need that to be amended, yes, if that's the route that we want.
Your personal recommendation was extend it to the 29th, Mike?
I'm, because of them having two different end dates, he's asked for the extension, I believe that is a legit request, and we could do them so they all ended at the same time,
I'll make the motion to extend it till the 29th.
to the 29th.
27th would be all three then.
27th would be all three, because the other ones are there.
Okay, you
Otherwise,
mentioned the 29th, that's why I asked, so the
27th or 29th, if we went to the 29th, then I would extend them all to the 20th. I want them all to end at the same time.
I'll make a motion to extend it to the 27th, make them all even.
Okay. Is there a
Second.
second? By Rob? Okay. When you're ready, Lindsay, roll call.
Cindy,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Okay. Go to Family Connection, Michelle's not here. Career and Tech, I'll just roll through a couple things. We did approved our calendar, which we talked about. We have aggressively pursued an ag position. We've gone on radio, we've gone on winter show booths, we've gone, and we have some interest. So we're gonna do some interviewing there. We also decided to reopen up the IT position. Mostly for the thought of, because as we go ahead, everybody needs cybersecurity. The thought was the other schools wanted to come up with how we can do cybersecurity without having to do it in-house and have the option. So we're thinking that that person could do cybersecurity as a class, looking to even do it online. For Valley City, it works very simple because it's a one-period class they can shift up. I said at the meeting, and our other rural schools said the same thing. We're not going to look at that for a 50-minute period and truck in for it. So for us, long story short, for us, we're looking at putting cybersecurity into the schedule for us on the third block, but also we would have a UAF class that could be offered in that same time frame.
So curriculum-wise, all graduating students need to have
By
one?
sophomore, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah,
this year's sophomores, is it, or next year's sophomore?
by the 25, 26.
This year's sophomores.
Yeah. Have to
This year's
have.
sophomores, by the time they graduate,
Yes.
have to have one
Or,
credit
No.
Offer,
or it
has to
can be
offered.
integrated into
other
your
curriculum.
To other
curriculum.
classes.
And
But
that's
do-
why we got the majority of our teachers to be level
Right.
3 certified in
And
that area.
to cover
Got it.
some of the other bases, if we have this, which is an extension of our school, it is offered. Not that we, but it helps us work, it is offered then.
And you have to offer
Offer
it.
it.
And there's
Yeah.
legit probably interest in.
So that's part of the discussion of why we're bringing it back, and then it is offered, it helps cover things, so
There's no obligation of the student to actually take the class.
because there's no credit, it's not required to have a credit, it needs to be
Just
offered.
offered, got
It
it.
needs to be
I get it.
offered, right now.
Yeah, so you could go for 9/12, if you required the credit, that would be your integration plan. or we're not going to require it, so they're gonna get some of it in their business communication class, their financial literacy, their accounting, and even English. And through some counseling lessons and some interaction with, Ms. Bitts with the technology stuff, so.
But if I,
But if
correct me if I'm wrong, we
students
got
so
it.
choose to
Take
take
it,
it,
it's
They
there.
still can.
they
But
can.
we basically gotta have a plan by midsummer, right? School each other has to.
Yes, we will have one, you'll probably see one by, probably the May board meeting.
Yeah.
So what happens if the IT position doesn't fill at Cheyenne Valley Career and Tech? We still have enough that hopefully
Yes.
with
Yes.
Yes.
that
And
would be
then
okay, okay.
Cause the
This
other
was-
Just
part
in
would
case
be
this doesn't.
No,
through
this-
NDCDE.
Got it.
This was thought to try to bring it back, get some of those classes there, but it does cover the offered part because
Got
of the
it.
extension of our school, so it
Thank you.
kind of covers two bases for us to open it up. Valley's really pushing it because they're looking to try to use us for that. And that, if we're gonna have some classes and some people signed up, it helps us to offer the class back.
Got it.
Other IT classes with it, but that's part of the mix. Back to we're still waiting for mechanical. So we are gonna be to the end of March to get that, because that's where we're at right now. So nothing new there on the building, still waiting for mechanical drawings.
Is that because of the zoning still? Or
Not the zoning, it's what criteria you
Or what
fall
codes
under,
you're
what
falling
code you fall under from a sixties building to the auto shop building and the new building, what they're grandfathering and what else. So till they get that, mechanical can't finish their drawings. So yes. And we also gotta do a little bit, as long as that building's been in Valley from Lincoln School to whatever, they had to go sign some stuff today because it's never been moved. City of Valley City has never moved it out of, given them conditional use for out of residential. So that thing is still sitting in a residential zone, which when we ask for money at the state, says, you are not, you're zoned residential. So that went, they signed that stuff today to take to City Hall to get us the conditional use permit to get us moved to out of residential. It's a hoop upon a hoop. Long story short.
I think every I will be dotted and T crossed by the time we get done with this thing, hopefully.
We've learned a lot through the process.
Hopeful never to replicate it again.
Yes. So, that's what we got there. Anything special ed? I know you had a meeting too.
Yeah, special ed did the director's evaluation, staffing. Ms. Johnson was gonna hire a position in Oaks that needed to be filled. Right now, the open positions are para positions, 1 BCN, 2 Valley City, 2 Oaks. She had talked about hiring a BCBA, which is a behavior interventionalist. The cost she quoted to us would have been roughly packaged $79,000. We tabled the topic because we wanted to get more in depth into the budget or see the budget and what that's gonna look like, because the last thing we wanna do is have our costs go up through that. So it's it's probably a want position within the unit for that, so not really sure where that's going to go. Like I said, we need to take a deeper dive into our budget to see where we're gonna end up this year and what it's gonna look like for next year with that. So that was most of what our meeting was.
Okay. If nothing else, next meeting, April 17th, then we're adjourned.
Motion.